Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. So it is the brand new year and I have so many awesome reading plans for 2021. There are so many series that I want to start, so many series that I need to finish. There are just a ton of things that I want to do, lots of reading goals, and of course I'm going to start at the beginning of the year. So my TBR is pretty ambitious. I'm going to be starting some new series. And there is actually a series that I'm going to be starting that I have already tried before, and I have DNF'd 2 times. So if you guys have watched any of my DNF videos, you'll know that I have never had success picking up a DNF and reading it again and liking it. So I am super worried about attempting this series again. So make sure that you guys stick around if you want to know what series that is. But before we go ahead and get on into the books, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new content. I post new videos every Sunday and every Wednesday and sometimes Friday. Also, don't forget to check down in my description box for links to all of my social media, including my Discord and my Patreon. The first book I'm going to be reading in January is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is her entire collected works. It's one of the Barnes & Noble leather-bound editions. I got it for Christmas one year and it is so gorgeous. And I do plan on reading it out of this book when I'm like at home. Obviously, I'm not going to carry this book around, so I do plan on checking out the ebook and the audiobook from my library so that I have a couple different mediums in which to read it. But I promised one of my bookish friends, Will, one of my Patreons, that I would read a Jane Austen in January, and he said Sense and Sensibility because the only other Jane Austen book I've read is Pride and Prejudice, and that was years and years ago that I barely remember it. So I'm excited to delve back into the world of Jane Austen because it's high time I did so. The next book I'm going to be reading is We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizul. This is a YA fantasy. It's a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy, and I read the first book, We Hunt the Flame, in December and liked it, and I actually got this book from NetGalley. So I had NetGalley at one time and didn't really use it, but I decided to reopen my NetGalley account and I saw that this was available, so I requested it. That was even before I had read We Hunt the Flame. So I didn't think I was going to get approved for it, but I did. I did enjoy We Hunt the Flame enough to continue on with the series, but in this book we follow a huntress named Zafira, and she somehow gets involved in going on a mission to retrieve a magical artifact that will bring magic back to her land. And we also follow another character named Nasir, who is the son of the Sultan, and he is used by the Sultan as an assassin, and he is sent to kill the huntress as well as assassinate some other people that are involved in retrieving this artifact. So like I said, I thought the first book was really fun and it was good enough to interest me in reading the sequel. This is a duology, so I'll easily be able to wrap this series up in January. The next book I'm going to be reading is The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. Mistborn Era 2 was one of the series that I planned on reading in 2021, and every single month one of my patrons gets to pick a book that they want me to read and review on my channel. So the one that Alex chose was The Alloy of Law, and I'm very excited to get to this, number one, because I want to delve back into the Mistborn universe. I read those books years ago and I'm all caught up on the Stormlight archives, so now I can jump back into Mistborn. But this book takes place 300 years after the events of the original Mistborn trilogy, and all of those characters, Kelsier, Ven, Zed, they have all kind of passed into history, and we are following 2 characters, Wax and Wayne, in this world that is more modern. And I've heard that it's a lot of fun. It's not as serious as the original Mistborn trilogy, and it's kind of like a western. There's some really cool gunfights, and there are some like steampunk elements. So I just think all of those things combined with the fact that it's Sanderson and you still have the allomancy type of magic really makes me excited to get into this world, so I can't wait to read it. And the next book I'm going to be reading is Malice by John Gwynne, which is an adult epic fantasy series. And when I did my series that I want to start in 2021 video, so many of you guys commented and said, read Malice. So I've had this book on my shelf forever, and I wish I would have picked it up earlier at a different time, but I feel like January is definitely the time to start it. But this follows a world where there has been conflicts and wars between humans and these giants, and now the giants are back stirring up trouble. That's really all I know about it, and because so many of you have recommended it to me, it's kind of got me pumped and excited to finally jump into this book, and this is one of our buddy reads for January. If you're interested in learning about more of the January buddy reads and want to join in buddy reading with us, I'll link all of that information down below as well as up in the cards to the announcement video. And lastly is the series that I'm going to attempt to restart again that I have DNF'd 2 times, and that is Gardens of the Moon, or the Malice series by Steven Erikson. So I actually had this book at one time and got rid of it. And at the filming of this video, I still do not have my copy. I ordered a copy from Thrift Books and it has gotten lost in the mail, so I am waiting for them to resolve that or refund me so I can go get another one or whatever the deal is. But this book, like I said, I've DNF'd 2 times, but I'm doing the read along with Mike over at Mike's Book Reviews. So if you have not checked out his channel, you should go ahead and check out his channel. But Patrick over at Novel Notions and Mike are the ones that kind of convinced me to try this series again. And I think it'll really, really help to have a community of readers to talk about things with, because when I originally read this series, I felt like Steven Erikson just like dropped you in the middle of this plot and kind of left you to figure things out on your own. So I know that having people to chat with and kind of help to make sense of things will really, really help. So I'm definitely excited to give Gardens of the Moon another try. Maybe 3rd time will be the charm. So that is it for my January TBR, you guys. Very heavy on the fantasy, but I'm excited to fit a classic in there. I'm excited to wrap up a series so early in the year, and I'm excited to start 2 of my most anticipated fantasy series of the year. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, what you thought about them, and also if you're interested in joining any of these buddy reads, and I will see you again in another video. Goodbye.